In the volcanic margins where scorched stone meets thinning air, life begins in the smallest of embers. Deep within fractured rock and ash-choked valleys, a hatchling emerges, soft-bodied, vulnerable, its survival hinging on a fragile flame burning at the end of its tail. This juvenile, known to biologists as Charmander, is born into an ecosystem that offers no mercy. The flame is not ornamentation. It is a metabolic gauge. If it dims, the organism is failing. If it dies, so does the creature. From its first breath, survival is visible, measurable, and unforgiving. The early environment is harsh. Temperature swings, predatory birds, and larger terrestrial hunters patrol the slopes. Charmander survives through caution and endurance rather than strength. Its physiology is built for persistence, dense but flexible muscle fibers, heat-resistant skin, and a nervous system tuned to threat detection. The flame responds to stress, flaring when adrenaline spikes, betraying fear but also warning rivals. Those that survive this stage learn restraint. Fire is costly. Energy must be conserved. As seasons pass, environmental pressure reshapes the organism. Bone density increases. The tail flame burns hotter, more efficiently, requiring less fuel for greater output. Neural pathways governing aggression, memory, and spatial awareness expand. The transformation into Charmeleon marks adolescence, a volatile phase. The body grows faster than judgment.
Territorial instincts intensifi.
Charmeleon becomes confrontational, driven by hormonal surges and an emerging dominance instinct. Many perish here, undone by recklessness or stronger rivals. But a rare few endure long enough for the final transformation. When Charizard emerges, it is no longer merely terrestrial. The skeleton undergoes radical restructuring. Hollowed yet reinforced bones to support flight, expanded clavicular plates anchoring powerful wings, and a broadened chest cavity housing an advanced respiratory system capable of sustaining internal combustion at extreme temperatures. The flame is now stable, roaring with controlled intensity. This is not rage, it is mastery. Charizard claims altitude. High cliffs and volcanic peaks become both refuge and vantage point. From the sky, it surveys territory stretching for kilometers, memorizing thermal currents, prey migration paths, and rival nests. Flight is not constant. It is strategic. Energy is spent only when advantage is certain. On the ground, Charizard moves with deliberate weight. Each step compresses stone. Each wing folds signals restraint rather than weakness. As an apex predator, Charizard does not hunt indiscriminately. It selects threats: large prey, rival dominance, environmental intruders. Fire is used surgically to cut off escape routes, to create pressure waves of heat that disorient rather than incinerate. The roar, low and resonant, carries through valleys as both warning and declaration. Most creatures flee long before confrontation is necessary. When conflict does occur, it is brief and decisive. Against another apex, perhaps a massive rock-armored titan or an ancient serpent of the skies, Charizard relies not on brute force alone, but control. It uses altitude, blinding heat, and psychological dominance. Flames are shaped by wing beats, compressed into focused torrents. The air itself becomes a weapon. Victory is achieved not through chaos, but through precision and intimidation. Charizard is not solitary by necessity, but by choice. Tolerates few equals, yet it is capable of loyalty, particularly toward those who prove strength through resilience rather than fear. This intelligence is evident in its restraint. It does not destroy its own territory. Forest fires caused by Charizard are rare and typically defensive. It understands the balance of its domain, acting as both predator and regulator. Occasionally, a genetic anomaly appears. A Charizard with obsidian-black scales and pale, ember-blue flames. This shiny variant is exceedingly rare, the result of altered pigmentation and flame chemistry. In the wild, such individuals are treated with near-mythic reverence or fear. Their presence is symbolic, a living eclipse, often associated with territory shifts or ecological upheaval. Some cultures believe their appearance marks the rise or fall of a dominant era. As centuries pass, stories spread. Villages speak of a winged shadow crossing the sun. Mountains are named after scorched silhouettes in stone. To some, Charizard is destruction incarnate. To others, a guardian that keeps greater horrors at bay. In truth, it is neither hero nor villain. Charizard is survival perfected, fire given form, instinct sharpened into intelligence. A living legend not born of myth, but of pressure, adaptation, and unyielding flame. Where it rules, the ecosystem endures, balanced by the watchful presence of the dragon born of fire.
In the low light of forgotten places, abandoned laboratories, mineral caverns beneath temperate plains, and wetlands choked with chemical runoff, life begins without ceremony. Here, in environments too unstable for most organisms, Ditto is born. At its earliest stage, it is not yet a creature with a fixed form, but a living mass of adaptive protoplasm, vulnerable and incomplete. Survival here is not about speed or strength, but about learning when to exist and when to disappear. Juvenile Ditto drift through their environment almost unnoticed, clinging to stone surfaces or submerging themselves in mud and shadow. Their bodies lack a defined skeleton, instead composed of a semi-viscous cellular lattice capable of rapid reorganization. This fluid anatomy is not a weakness. It is an answer to relentless pressure. Predators that hunt by sight overlook them. Changes in temperature, pressure, or chemical exposure are absorbed and redistributed through their bodies rather than resisted. From the beginning, Ditto does not fight the world. It yields, and in yielding, survives. As Ditto matures, its true evolutionary advantage emerges. Neural clusters develop throughout its body rather than in a centralized brain, allowing sensory input to be processed instantly at the point of contact. When Ditto observes another organism, its cells begin recording data: muscle tension, skeletal proportions, surface texture, even subtle postural habits. This is not mimicry in the superficial sense. It is biological analysis in real time. Transformation is costly. The act of reshaping requires immense metabolic energy and precise coordination. Early attempts are imperfect, misaligned limbs, slack posture, asymmetrical features. Many juveniles fail here, exposed by these errors and eliminated by predators. Only those that refine their internal memory and control survive. Evolution does not reward imagination, it rewards accuracy. In adulthood, Ditto becomes something far more dangerous than a shapeshifter. It becomes an infiltrator. Rather than dominating through force, Ditto integrates itself into existing hierarchies. It adopts the form of herd animals to move unseen. It mimics apex predators to deter threats without confrontation. Within complex ecosystems, Ditto functions as a regulator, an organism that prevents imbalance by exploiting predictability. Sound carries differently around a Ditto. There is often no footfall, no displaced foliage, no warning. Its movement is deliberate, economical, shaped by observation rather than instinctive aggression. When threatened, Ditto does not react emotionally. Its body tightens, structure stabilizing, mass redistributing for density and resilience. What appears soft becomes unyielding. What appears passive becomes calculating. A confrontation unfolds in the deep forest at dusk. A territorial predator, larger, faster, biologically optimized for killing, detects movement. The air tightens with tension. Ditto does not flee, it transforms. Musculature thickens, posture rises, eyes align to match the predator's own species. The challenger hesitates. Dominance in the wild is as much about certainty as strength. In that moment of hesitation, Ditto advances not with reckless violence, but with precision. The encounter ends without prolonged struggle. Survival is achieved not by overpowering the enemy, but by erasing the need for conflict altogether. Ditto's intelligence is not emotional, but strategic. It does not form bonds easily, yet when it integrates into a group, it exhibits loyalty rooted in mutual survival. It mirrors behaviors to reinforce trust, adopting social cues to remain accepted. Aggression is used sparingly, only when exposure threatens existence. Every action serves continuity. Rarely, a genetic anomaly appears among Ditto populations. Known as the shiny variant, this individual bears a pale blue coloration, its cells reflecting light differently due to altered protein structures. In the wild, this coloration offers no camouflage advantage, and yet these individuals persist. They are often solitary, their presence almost ceremonial. Other organisms react with caution, as if sensing something unfamiliar but ancient.